Hey guys, Ken Smith. And as much as I try not to say it, it just comes out now. Ken Smith Fishing. And everybody who walks up to me who doesn't know me, or who knows me even goes, Ken Smith Fishing. Can't help it. Anyway, got another Rayburn report for you this week. So I fished on Friday and on Saturday morning. That's what I'm going to post. You're going to see me in two different outfits, one from Friday and one from just a little bit of fishing Saturday morning. But I got a bunch of announcements I'd like to go through before we get there. So first announcement is this Saturday, Outlaw Team Series event on Sam Rayburn. The lake's off limits until Friday. If you prepay, you can fish Friday. I love that because it helps those of us who aren't down there all the time, which I've been down there a lot this year, but it helps us compete a little more against the guys who literally can't fish every day. So a little bit off limits. Should be a really good field. Another drive-through weigh-in, last Outlaw Team Series for the year, and will be my first tournament to fish since COVID. So Moon Pie and I are he's agreed to do some things with me in the boat. I'm wearing masks, and not those kind of masks, but just being careful because, again, I've got a 10-month-old in the house, and so we're being super careful. So that'll be this weekend. Hope to see you guys down there. Also wanted to mention, I stopped in Needmore in Zavala, and they do now have non-ethanol gas there at the store. You'll see that little tank out front. And it's not a credit card. He's got to be open. I think he normally opens about 5:30 in the morning, but he does have fuel there. And just note, that ice machine doesn't work there either, by the way. Sorry guys, I had a phone call I had to grab there. So I think I talked about Outlaw, I talked about the fuel at Needmore. I wanted to mention that. New bait, and this is a bait that 6 Sense has just come out with. By the time you see this bait may be sold out, I'm sorry. But it's the new Speedwake. So if you're not familiar with that bait, this is a better look at it. It is not a carbon copy, but it has the same action and a real similar build to the old Strike King wake shad. And it's a little shorter, it's a little thicker. They've moved the weight forward so it throws better, and it's a 7/8 ounce bait. If you don't know anything about the wake shad, it had a very quiet following amongst big bass fishermen and tournament fishermen that were after giant fish. And there's a couple of guys at Rayburn who are real excited that this is back out, that were sort of the push behind getting this bait created, improving on the bait. They quit making the wake shed several years ago. If you go try to find one of those baits, I looked a minute ago, the cheapest one on eBay is $39.99, and they go up from there. So that bait is now available. Remember, Ken10 discount code gets you a 10% discount, and it's a cool bait. It wakes. I mean, it throws a big wake, and when you get a bite on that, you do not have to measure those fish. Those fish go directly into the box. Other things I wanted to mention, the glasses, the Waterland glasses, you guys have seen me, if you didn't see my last video. So Waterland company now has sunglasses out. It's the same folks who make 6 Sense. It's waterlandco.com, so waterlandcompany.com, waterlandco.com, or there's a link below, a bit.ly link that'll take you right to it. Those are going to retail for $149 a pair. Right now they're on sort of a rollout price of 25% off, and you can use my Ken10 code there and get another 10% off. So they're about $100 a pair. 3 different lens colors, 4 different frames. The frame you guys have seen me wearing so far has been the Hasket, so like gasket, H-A-S-K-E-T. And I have a gigantic noggin, by the way. I wear a 7 5/8 cowboy hat. They fit me good, but the Milliken is a even bigger frame, and I've ordered one of those. I hope it'll be here tomorrow or Wednesday, and so tomorrow would be Tuesday when you guys are seeing this. As soon as I have that, I'll show you guys what that frame looks like, and just you can check that out. I had a question from a guy whether mine are bifocals, and they're not, but they are. So this is nothing related to anything, but you can see right here in the split screen, that's a $15 bifocal thing you can buy online. You buy them, you put a little bit of water in your lens, and you stick to them on the inside of your lens. You can't see them from the outside. And with mine, it took 2 times to get them to stick, but they've been in there now for a couple of weeks. They have not fallen out. You can cut them to size. They're a little bit too big for what I wanted. I wanted it on the very lower half of my eyes. But so you can see right there what they look like inside of my Hasket frames. it's a way to take well, in this case, $100 pair of sunglasses and make them a $200 or $300 pair of bifocal sunglasses. So very inexpensive way to do it. I've ordered a bunch of those. This is the first time I've ever tried them, and I was really impressed with them. At first they were too high and I felt a little seasick, which if you've ever started wearing bifocals, you'll know that. So these are bifocals that I have on now. That's the case, but I cut them a little lower and got comfortable with them real quick, and they work great. So that's just something non-attached that you guys, and you can Google the name of them. I'll put the name down here when I reread that package. What else did I want to mention? A guy asked me, Ken, help me narrow down Rayburn. What part of the lake you fishing on? Man, I got to tell you. So in the last couple of weeks, you have seen me above the 83 bridge up Ash, above the 103 bridge up the Angelina, almost to the bridge up the Atoyac, and all the way to the dam. So Rayburn's good news and bad news. Rayburn's huge, right? 115,000, 120,000 acres, which was supposed to be named, by the way, McGee Bend Reservoir, if you guys didn't know that, the McGee Bend Reservoir. So this is the McGee Bend Reservoir Rayburn report today. But I've been all over the lake, and the problem is it's a gigantic lake, right? The good news is there's kind of fish all over it. So I can't say that I'm catching fish in any particular area. I'm going all over the place trying to find fish. I've got this tournament this weekend. I've got a couple of little groups of fish found that I hope better fish bite in, but we'll just have to see. And I'm going to we're going to burn 25 gallons of fuel checking these different spots. That's just Rayburn. You got to be willing to pull up the trolling motor, put the hammer down, and go look at some other stuff. So I'm not steering you away from or to anything. There's just fish all over Rayburn. What I do want to steer you away from, I see guys all the time come under the 147 bridge heading towards the dam and run the Bird Island, or that's 2 or 3 little islands right there on the left as you run under the bridge. And I see guys run the main lake side of that. That is the amber forest. I've talked about this a bunch of times. Do not run through there. The lake is now about a ½ foot low. There's great big ones out there. Just run in behind Bird Island, and it's safe. It's 8 or 10 feet deep all the way through there, and it doesn't take 5 seconds off your run, and you're not in any danger. Do not run that amber forest corner out there around the main lake side of Bird Island. I'm also going to tell you it's getting dangerous to run through the canyons. I ran through it the other day, and I probably will continue, but I'm puckered up doing it, so just know that. What else do I want to talk about? A couple of guys commented on my last video about the band video. That was all in jest. Look, there's some folks that are confused between the difference between ineligible and banned, and maybe clickbaited up a video about it. I was simply ineligible for that tournament, and I'm fine with that. So Clint and I have absolutely no problem, although we've got a little video coming later this week that was pretty fun to do. So anything else we want to talk about? We did get some more stuff at the food pantry. I'll get that out for you guys later this week. And I think that's everything. So I'm sorry for such an incredibly long intro, but let's go bass fishing. So this will be first Friday. Here we go. He ain't much, but he's a start. Species confused to start the morning. Starting the morning out on the main lake point, doing a little cranking. If there were any carp tournaments coming up, this would be the spot, because there are carp all around me. But no bass so far. Come on. You know, I got asked in a video or a comment the other day why I throw so many chartreuse crankbaits. That's part of the reason. You just get less of those dadgum hybrids or sand bass, whatever those things are. Which I guess sometimes it's nice to be getting bit, but who knows if there wasn't an 8-pounder about to eat that thing and that silly sand bass runs up there and whacks it. Fish there. Woo, pulling. Thinks he's a 10-pounder. Nice fish. Little chunk. He woofed it. You know, I'm out here sort of reminiscing in my head. So you guys saw that last crankbait fish I caught, and you could see the bridge in the background. So I'm north of the bridge, maybe 3/4 of a mile. There's a bunch of ridges and humps out here. And I remember when I first came to Rayburn, which would have been in the 80s, these had hydrill all over the top of them. I don't know, you know, obviously it died off in probably high water one year or something, but it's never grown back, and it's just so strange to me. I mean, I remember catching fish out here on a buzz bait over the top of the grass, and I hadn't seen a sprig of grass out here in years and years and years. There's still some fish out here. I don't fish out here like I probably should. But it's just funny to be out here and remembering how much the lake has changed over the last 30 plus years that I fished it. Coming up here coming down here a long time. By the way, I made several casts on that spot where I caught that crankbait fish. That was a solid 3-pound fish. Nobody else was there. Cranked it and drug it too. I drug it going across and I saw fish on the graph out there. Fired the crankbait up out there and that fish bit it. I thought maybe that'd fire the school, but it didn't. I gotta say, it's been a tougher day today than I anticipated. It's about 10, so I'm gonna keep grinding on it and see what happens. Throwing plow a long way with a 9-foot rod, I gotta tell you. That's that Mark Rose ledge rod. I ordered that rod by accident, but I gotta tell you, for this purpose right here, you can launch it. Good to know loose rods will float a little bit. That was almost a problem. That and bit it just reeling it. Oh, here. I'm going multi-species. That's them little ones that'll put a pin in your finger. I carried my brother-in-law, Eddie, also known as Charles, to the ER in Longview one night with one of those stuck through his palm out of Martin Creek Lake. You'd pull on that catfish and that little finger would twitch. Ooh, it was so gross. Bladed thing that I throw some down here when these fish are deep, especially summer and winter. And what you're seeing, and actually I've caught a lot more fish than I've showed you with it today, and most of them are little, but what's interesting is a lot of times, like that fish did, they'll bite it just sitting on the bottom. You'll hop it, just let it sit there for a minute. So it's a bait that you can overwork. You can work it too much. I'll put a link below where I get these little baits. They're from Tackle Warehouse, but it's a neat little bait. If you get in an area and you're wondering if it's bass or sand bass, or that's a solid keeper. Catfish or drum, this will tell you real quick what exactly. Okay, so that was Friday. This is Saturday morning. And what I'm going to tell you here is, you didn't see me catch much, and you're not going to see me catch much Saturday either. But I'm looking. I'm looking at stuff I've either not fished or caught fish on in more than 3 years, or looking at brand new stuff. You're going to hear me comment in this video. I catch a 3.25 pound fish off a spot I hadn't caught a fish off of in 20 years. So and one of the things I figured out being down there a lot during the week, the last couple of weeks, I used to think the fishing was better during the week. And it's not that the fishing is better. It's that you can run more sweet spots. That's what it boils down to. It's the difference between fishing a 50 boat tournament and a 300 boat tournament. You can run sweet spots, and you can't do that on most given Saturdays and Sundays on Rayburn anymore. That's why the fishing's better, because you can hit the best spots on the spots if you know where they are. And you can't do that when there's a whole bunch of guys, because there's other guys on those spots. So I am continuing trying to expand that circle, find new stuff that I've not been fishing, groups of fish that other people aren't fishing for. I am purposely steering away from other boats. If there's other boats in an area, I'm getting away from them, because it's just getting to the point now where you can't catch them, or if you find fish on a lot of these spots, you can't get back on it. So you're going to see me continue to struggle a little bit, because that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to learn new stuff. So here's Saturday's fishing. All right, we're going to try a little clay point right here and see what we can do. Didn't take very long, did it? Sorry, I'm having issues with my gooseneck on my camera, and what I'll tell you guys is, if you're going to buy a GoPro gooseneck, buy a GoPro gooseneck, don't buy an off-brand. But I had a GoPro, and I finally broke the base on it, which is going to happen, and I had a backup, which was an off-brand out of China, and it ain't worth a dang. I say China, Taiwan, somewhere they're all made. So this is just a little main lake point that the river swings right up against it. Going up in about, boats in 15 feet, I'm going up in about 12 feet. I think I got a little bit too close to those fish. That one bit right up onto the boat, the one before that, so I turned around and I'm just sort of easing away from that spot. Let's see if that does it make a difference. Yep, I got too close to those fish. solid fish. Like I said, I just turned and moved a little further away from that spot. That's a good 3 1/4, I'm gonna say. Just little clay points with the river within 40 or 50 yards. There's fish on all of them. I ran out of brush hogs again, and I go through a lot of brush hogs. So I went to the little Zoom finesse worm. Yes, sir. Little Zoom finesse worms, hard to beat sometimes. They get a little finicky, they'll eat it. Getting eyeballed pretty hard, so I kind of waited to set the hook on that one a little bit. Yee, pretty little fish. I found another pack of brush hogs. Watermelon blue flake they are. And come to find out, they'll bite them too. So there you go. That was my Saturday fishing. I caught a bunch of fish on a little point. I hadn't fished in years and years and years. And it made me start thinking about other little points. I'm gonna start working in that area. And a lot of stuff I actually got my map out and started looking to see where that river runs. Anywhere that there's 14 or less feet of water just off the river, within a cast of that river, I wanna check it out. I graphed a spot that I've never looked at before, that I ran over and I'm like, that looks different. Turned around and graphed it and mapped it. Didn't have time to fish it and the wind was blowing, but I'm really looking forward to getting back out there and checking it out. So keep an open mind, keep looking. Don't be afraid to fish stuff that nobody else is around. That's where you find fish that you whack on them. Look, Chris Wilson and Harold Moore continue to win tournaments and I never see them. So they've done that, they found somewhere, and I see, look, I know people, right? I see where people are on the lake, and I'm not gonna go jump somebody's hole, but I pay attention. If I run by you and you're netting a 9-pounder, I'm gonna go, wow, he's netting a 9-pounder on that river creek or that river bend. They're away from the crowd, and that's why they continue to do well, and I continue to look for my own fish away from crowds, and you should too. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you find this enjoyable or helpful or just entertaining. I don't care which it is. I appreciate you sharing on Facebook and on YouTube, and helping me grow my subscriber base. I just crossed, and this boggles my mind, 1.5 million views in the last 2 years. I mean, I know there's guys who get that many views in a couple of months, but that boggles my mind that people have watched my videos 1.5 million times. So thanks for doing that. I really do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to continue doing this. And I so much enjoy when you guys walk up and say hi. I understand I got some more college hats coming. University of Louisiana at Monroe Warhawks. There you go, boys. Thanks for the hat. Send me your hat. I'll wear it on a video for you. Thanks, guys. We'll see y'all soon.